On the 25th of July 2023, BBC has put up a report on modern day slavery, Gangmasters exploit on care worker visa. This might just be the last stroke that breaks the camel's back. The report on migrants being exploited through the health and care workers route, it's not something that is new, which I'll be sharing with you in course of this video. You need to stick with me to the end of this video so you can get the full information and be able to guide yourself appropriately. Hi guys, as you all know, my name is Victor. If you are new to this channel, in this channel I give latest information about UK and UK immigration. I talk about ways you can study abroad and ways you can migrate to the United Kingdom through the skilled workers migration route. If this channel is something that interests you, don't forget to join the amazing Green family. Give a thumb up to the video so YouTube can recommend to a wider audience. So without further delay, let's get started. On 25th of July 2023, BBC has put up a report about modern day slavery, Gangmaster exploit on care worker visa. The care worker visa is one of the easiest routes you can use to migrate to the United Kingdom since it was added to the shortage occupational list. Recent reports on how employers and agents are exploiting migrants has gotten to the Home Office, thereby resulting to some employer losing their certificate of sponsorship rights, and some are being investigated. With this report released by BBC on the 25th of July 2023 on modern day slavery, Gangmaster exploit on care worker visa, this will also put a dent on the care workers route. I'll be reading through the report released by BBC so we can get full understanding of what they talk about and see how we can guide against it. The number of modern day slavery cases reported within the UK care industry has more than doubled in the past year. There were 109 potential victims exploited for personal or financial gain between January and March, twice as many as the same period in 2022. BBC file on 4 obtained the figures from the government-approved anti-slavery helpline run by Charity Unseen. Investigators trying to protect workers from being exploited say the care industry is now a top priority. The Gangmasters and Labor Abuse Authority, whose role is to protect workers from labor exploitation across the UK, told us there were 17 ongoing care sector investigations and that it was looking at more than 300 pieces of intelligence. Things are getting messier in the care sector as migrants has been exploited. Just imagine from January to March, the report they've gotten, it's twice the amount they got in the whole of 2022. To tell you, in 2023, the exploitation is even more than in 2022. If this continue unabated, in 2024, it will be something that nobody can even imagine. For BBC to come up with a report of this nature and put in their official website, they must have had credible intelligence to that effect. As I'm talking to you, so many employers have been investigated on issues relating to modern day slavery and exploitation. Let's get more details on what this report talked about. Unseen says the rise in calls about the care sector in the past 12 months is because the government has made it easier for overseas social care staff to work in the UK post-Brexit and fill thousands of job vacancies. As the supply chain gets bigger, there's more chance of exploitation, says the charity. In the year to March, the government has issued 102,000 skilled workers health and care visas to foreign workers. That is up to 171% on the previous year. In a statement, it told File on 4 that more than 17.8 million had been spent policing modern day slavery since. It's very rare to hear from a victim of modern slavery in person, but one woman who came to the UK on a work visa and was forced to work grueling hours as a carer told us her story. Report on exploitation and modern day slavery in the care sector, it's something that is very common. But unfortunately, most victims don't speak out because of the fear of being deported back to their country, Some of them they got the opportunity to come here to work to get a better life. Some were running from either abusive relationship. Some were trying to run from one issue or the other. Seen here as a safe haven for them to be able to recuperate, to build up either lost confidence or to see how they can revive their career. So many of them doesn't speak out. It's only on a rare cases you see people coming out to speak about the modern day slavery. So many persons have signed contracts knowingly or unknowingly that will make them subject to that company in a way that will not be acceptable to the UK government. They've been ill advised. Some of them, they didn't take out time to go through the contract they are signing. All that preoccupies their mind is, I want to go to the UK to work. And some of the picture they've painted to them that coming here, you can do this, you can do that, you will earn this and earn that. But then they get here, the experience, what they are seeing on ground, would be different from what they've been told before they came in here. And some, before coming here, they sold all what they have back home to be able to put up all the process in place. Getting here, they find out what they were told ab initio, it's not the same with what they are seeing here. Going back becomes difficult because they've disposed all they have, they've quit their job, they've put everything they had for sale so that they can raise funds to be able to make their migration plan to the UK come alive. But getting here, what they are seeing on ground is different. But going back home is something they cannot give a second thought about. So, guys, so many persons have been victim of modern day slavery, being victim of exploitation. Just imagine somebody coming here working on a grueling hour 24 hours of the day, you are meant to work out 20 hours, 18 hours. The next day, you're still coming back to the same job doing that. While some, they are not being paid for the number of hours they spend working. They're only paid on the number of hours they spend on clients. And they are not being paid travel hours that they use to move from one client to the other. All of these are some of the reports BBC have put together to see how they can tackle, an investigation is ongoing on some employers who are engaged in some of these unholy practices. Still frightened of our former employers, we are calling her Terry to protect our identity. Recruited by an agency in her home country in Africa, Terry was offered work in the UK as a domiciliary carer. The agency told her it would arrange her work visa and transport. She was interviewed in person, took an English test, and had to provide proof of her work experience. She was promised a job as a care assistant in the UK through a care company. She was told she would earn up to £29,000. For Terry, who was in an abusive marriage, the job was the perfect opportunity to escape with her three children. Terry brought her mother with her to the UK so she could look after Terry's children. Although Terry would be provided with somewhere to stay through the care companies, depending on where she was asked to work. The children and their grandmother went into private rented accommodation. Terry told us she found her work as grilling up to 20 hours a day and that she often worked 7 days a week. The car she had been promised to travel between clients did not materialize, so she had to walk to appointments. When Terry eventually received her wages from the company 2 months later, it worked out at less than £2 an hour, which is illegal. Care workers aged 23 and over must be paid at least the national living wage of £10.42 per hour for their time at appointment plus travel time to and fro the office. This is very sad what migrants are going through in the UK, most especially through the health and care sector. Some employers are taking advantage of migrants coming to the UK. Just imagine somebody working 20 hours in a day and we are not even paying the person the appropriate amount that it's been prescribed as a living wage per hour. It's really ridiculous how some employers are treating migrants here in the UK. This is just one of thousands of cases of such exploitation going on in the UK. So many employers do not pay the right amount of living wage. It's been prescribed by the UK government of £10 42 pence per hour if you are going to sponsor a worker in the health and care sector, right? Anything lesser than that it's illegal. You can pay above that, depends on the job needs and the job demand. But if you are paying less than that, you are breaking the law. So guys, if your employer is paying you anything lesser than £10 42 as a skilled worker, you have the right to speak up. If you're a skilled worker and your employer is paying you anything less than £10 42 per hour, the employer is not doing himself good and is breaking the law. Because for you to be able to sponsor skilled worker from abroad or within the UK under the health and care route, you must be able to pay a minimum of £10 42. This will also be contained in your certificate of sponsorship, right? Because it's part of what make up the tradable point that qualify you to have a skilled worker visa approved. I know so many persons have that in their contract letter, they have that in their certificate of sponsorship, but in their place of work, the employer is paying them something less, most especially those in domiciliary care. Most of the employer will hide under the guise of telling you you are only paid for the time you spend with the clients. Employers are taking advantage of migrants coming in here. Imagine somebody working for 12 hours in a day and you're paying the person of £2 per hour. How could that amount to something at the end of the week and at the end of the month for you to be able to pay your bills owing to the increasing cost of living here in the UK, energy bill and the likes? So guys, employers are really taking advantage of all of this messy situation, and BBC and other regulatory authority, they are currently investigating employers that are involved in shady deals. I'm very sure it will not just be the case of revoking the sponsorship license, but I think employers who are involved in some of this unholy practice should also be sanctioned. Terry complained to the care company, but it threatened to stop her work and cancel her visa. She says other carers she got to know also warned her that the firm the firm owner had political link in her home country. That makes him very dangerous where we come from. You don't want to go against someone like that, she told us. Her low pay meant she was unable to continue paying rent for her mom and children, and they were forced to leave their accommodation. Terry was on a night shift while her mother and children spent the night on the streets. They were spotted by a member of the public and Terry was reported to social care. When they asked to see her rota, they were shocked. This is too much. This is insane. This is a sad tale of Terry, though even if the name is not Terry, but they are trying to cover up so that the employer and those who know her will not know about all of this. This is really a sad tale. Just imagine somebody spending a whole night outside, and I don't know how old are the kids, right? Just imagine a kid of 4 years, 5 years spending the night outside. This is a learning point for those intending to migrate to the United Kingdom. I know so many persons are currently going through the same predicament, working almost all day in the week, and they are being paid something less. You need to speak up. You cannot continue in such kind of modern day slavery. How long will you continue that way? You need to speak up. If you cannot speak for yourself, you need to look for somebody you can trust to explain all of this to so that they can speak up for you, right? Like the report said, most persons that are currently facing modern day slavery don't speak for themselves. Rather, those who knew the situation will help them to blow the whistle. So, guys, don't look at where you are coming from. Because of that, you want to stick your neck to something that will lead you to your untimely death, or something you know is not in the right path, it's not in the path of justice. So you need to speak up, guys. Modern day slavery is something that nobody wants to condone in this age and time. So you need to speak up and see how help can come your way. Damning report of this nature released by BBC, coupled with the fact that the UK government is complaining about net migration, might just bring an end to the care worker visa, because the government and every reasonable and government in authority will not want to condone modern day slavery of this nation. So guys, the health and care worker visa might just be coming to an end, because report of this nature is not something that is pleasant to hear, because it can send a negative signal to other nations and other countries about what the government is doing, even when the government is not aware or is not partaking in such kind of unholy practice. So guys, if you're planning to come to the UK, get this as a learning point. Please go through your letter of employment, go through your contracts, and read every detail. So many persons have consented to something within their mind they did not consent to because they did not take our time to read through the contract they are signing, or they did not understand the terms that is contained on the contract. So guys, you need to speak out if you find yourself in such kind of modern day slavery or exploitation. If you cannot speak for yourself, look for somebody around you can speak to so they can help you blow your whistle. So we've come to the end of this video. Please, you can give a thumb up, share with your friends so YouTube can recommend to a wider audience. And if you've not subscribed to this channel, please, you can subscribe and join the amazing evergreen family. See you in my next video.